Hello everybody, Nathan Fletcher here, the Drunk Philosopher, talking again about domestic violence, White Ribbon Day. Now, I have no problems with people calling out domestic violence. In fact, I think there should be more of it. The one thing that I continually notice is the language about it. For example, I was reading today in the Sydney Morning Herald an article which was talking about the perpetual violence against women by men. Well, perpetual means forever, okay? There will always be men who are violent against women. Now, it's not that I necessarily disagree with that statement. There will always be a certain amount of men who will be violent towards women. And then you can look at it from the other angle, and there's always going to be a certain amount of women who are violent towards men. Okay? That's a known quantity. And we can argue about the amounts. Here's the thing. No one's asking why. That's interesting. So you've got the feminists on one side saying, oh, women are constantly abused and it's only by men and men are the most horrible things in the universe. And then you've got the people on the other side of the argument, you know, the MGTOWs, incels or whatever. And they're all going on about, oh, it's gynocentrism and women are just as violent towards men and everybody's, you know. And this argument is just going on and on. Everyone's looking at the stats. It's almost like it's a competition, isn't it? Well, who's the most violent person towards each other in our society? Is it the men or is it the women? Come around, young ladies and gentlemen, and let's watch UFC, the Domestic Violence Edition. What the fuck? Seriously, what the hell? It's like a race to the bottom. Who's the more violent? Well, on average, it'll be the men, because the men are actually more violent towards other men than they are against women. And statistics actually prove that. But once again, this isn't a competition to the bottom, all right? What this is about is we have to do a multivariate assessment. What causes the violence? And you're going to find at an individual level, there could be quite a few mitigating things. For example, joblessness, alcoholism, temperament, upbringing. There's just so many different things it could be on an individual level. And this is the problem. No one's looking to solve the issue, okay? Everyone's looking to blame somebody or blame something, okay? You're fine. Blame the perpetrator. Look after the victim, that's fine. But that's at an individual level or a case-by-case level, right? This language of it's only one side ever doing it needs to stop. We need to actually see if we can do anything about this. It may be that we can't. You see, this is the other problem, is that some issues cannot be resolved. You just can't resolve them. How can you? This is one of the reasons we don't have a preemptive legal system, right? Is because we don't know until something happens. And then once it's happened, we can deal with it. Okay? As far as solving domestic violence, you can't look at entire stats of averages and then say, there's a problem and it's all this group of people's fault, all of them, and we need to do something about those people. No, we need to look at this from a realistic, humanistic point of view. We need to take into account everything we possibly can and then apply it. Once again, I'm not victim blaming here because I'm in support of the victims of domestic violence. But to just say it's because all men are aggressive, well, what do you do with, it's something like toxic masculinity? Fine, then it's toxic femininity for the women who abuse their male partners and female children at home. Where do you draw the line? You can't. So on this White Ribbon Day, why don't we think about what we can do to actually get involved in these individual cases? If you've got a friend, female or male, who's being abused, help them. Help them out. Do something positive for them. Take them to a refuge. Take them into your own home. Male or female, help them out. You know, don't leave them hanging. Because whilst we're arguing about who's the most horrible person in the universe by laws of averages, we're not helping anyone. We're just yelling at each other and not proving a damn thing. So let's stop blaming men or women and let's start looking at the actual problem on the ground. Right? Because otherwise we come out looking like a load of clowns. I'm Nathan Fletcher and I am the Drunk Philosopher and I'll catch you later. Uru.